What's up everyone? My name is Marie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I am building in Britechester again. It has been a while since I've built anything in Britechester. I mean, I was building here all the time when Discover University first came out, and then I thought I need to just get away from Britechester for a little while. But I am back now because I felt like it was time, and it's definitely one of my favorite worlds. So I just wanted to revisit Britechester and build something fun because, yeah, Britechester really reminds me of Amsterdam, and I live very nearby Amsterdam. I'm studying there. And yeah, I am also Dutch, so that's why I think I love this world so much. So I just wanted to get back to Britechester and build townhouses. Now, I didn't really have anything specific in mind for this build other than that I really wanted to build a few townhouses and specifically 3 townhouses next to each other. So that was my plan. That was what I wanted to do, but I didn't really have anything planned out as far as what I wanted it to look like or what I wanted the shape to be like or anything. And that is why it was, I don't know, this was quite difficult. I was fiddling around with the shape and the sizes a lot, and yeah, I didn't record everything. For example, the process of figuring out what wallpaper I wanted to use on the outside, it took me, I think, no joke, I think it took me like 30 minutes to figure out the colors of the wallpaper. And yeah, so that took me a while. I didn't record everything, but yeah, the only thing I knew that I wanted to do right from the beginning is that I wanted the middle one to be blue. I wanted the middle house to be blue. I don't know why. I think when I was scrolling through Pinterest, just looking at townhouses, just, you know, to get some inspiration. And when I was looking out the window, when I was going to school, I had already planned that I wanted to build townhouses. So on my way to school one day, I was just looking out the window and just looking at the homes and at the buildings. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I really was stuck on the idea of building a bright blue townhouse. And I thought it would look cute if I just made like one little blue townhouse and then 2 other townhouses next to each other. So that was really fun. It did, as I said, take me a while to figure out the shape and the sizes of those homes. But yeah, and I was fiddling with the roofing a lot because for townhouses, the roofs usually kind of stand out, like the shape of the roof, and yeah. For some reason, yeah, that just always stands out. So I try to make them look like really different from each other, and that took me a while. Also, the balconies in the back that you can see right now, that also took me a while to figure it out. And then, yeah, here you can see that I already painted the middle one blue, and then the other 2 I just didn't know. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna go fiddle around with the doors and the windows and try to see what I want to use. And maybe that inspires me to, yeah, for the wallpaper as well. And, well, yeah, it worked out in the end. I also didn't record all the fiddling around with the windows and the doors because that also took me a while. Because with townhouses, what I find most difficult about them is that they're just boxes. So they are like, yeah, they're just squares, they're boxes, and I find that quite difficult to make that look good. So that's why I'm always fiddling around with it for a long time, just pulling in and pulling out certain parts of walls, yeah, to just give it at least a little bit of dimension, because I don't want it to be just squares. That just looks boring in my opinion and not very realistic, even though in real life, townhouses are just boxy squares. But yeah, there's a lot more detail to them in real life. So, and I feel like in The Sims, you kind of have to mimic that with columns and, yeah, just pulling in and out little bits and pieces of the walls. But yeah, here I was actually done fiddling around with the shape and the sizes, and I added a couple of little balconies on the side and a few little planter boxes, and I think those kind of things really give it the dimension that it needs. So I think at this point I was actually already quite happy with how it looked. I did change around the wallpaper a few times, but I just didn't record it. So you can see now that it's already looking a little bit different than a few seconds ago. But I think this is what I went with in the end. I'm not quite sure, but I think this is what I ended up using. And I do like the way the back looks. I like the little round balcony that the blue house has. I don't know why, it just came to my mind to just try that. And I thought it looked kind of cute. So that's why I went with it. And then I also, of course, furnished all three of them. They're actually really tiny. So you can say that these townhouses are 3 tiny homes on one lot. Of course, they don't count as an actual tiny house, like a tiny house residential lot, because, well, it's 3 of them in one lot. So I'm pretty sure, I didn't check, I didn't even try, but I'm pretty sure it's over 100 tiles. So you can't use it like that. But yeah, the homes in itself are really small and really cute. And I try to furnish them all very different from each other. So I did think of like little storylines for the Sims that could be living in them. So yeah, I did have a lot of fun with that. You can't actually use these homes as student housing, even though, especially for the middle one, I had a student in mind, but I did I put in actual kitchens with stoves, so you can't use this as university housing unless you just go ahead and remove the stove, then you're actually fine. But yeah, as far as that goes, if you want to download this the way I built it, you can't use it as student housing. But I also think that'd be pretty unrealistic, because that would just be a little bit too expensive unless your student sim is very rich. Of course, then that's no problem. But yeah, I did imagine these homes to be for either 1 or 2 Sims. So for example, this first one, I wasn't quite sure, but I did have, I believe, 1 Sim in mind. There could be 2 Sims in here, actually. But yeah, I just had 1 Sim in mind. I tried to make this first house a little bit older and a little bit dated. And I tried to make the other ones look a little bit more modern and renovated. So yeah, as you can see right here, I'm using that like beigey colored tile as a backsplash in the kitchen, and those dark brown cupboards and cabinets, for the kitchen, and that that just makes it look a little bit dated, and I like that. I like that kind of style for the inside of a townhouse, because usually townhouses like this, or at least that's what I had in mind, the townhouses like this are usually quite old, and they have been there for like maybe a couple hundred years. So yeah, they're old houses, so if you don't renovate them, they're going to be looking a little bit dated. So that's what I was going for with this one. I went for a lot of like darker browns and a little bit outdated looking furniture, and just a little bit old. So I did imagine there to be an older Sim living in this house. Maybe a Sim that that lives alone and that actually enjoys living alone. Like they're a little bit of a loner, and like I said, an elderly Sim maybe. That would be cool because, I'm speaking for myself right now, but I barely ever play with elderly Sims, and I think that's a shame because, I think that's a little bit sad. I think the elderly deserve a little bit more attention in that sense. So that's why I built this home with an elderly Sim in mind, even though I know there 3 stairs in this home, so there is going to be a lot of walking up and down the stairs, and I'm not sure if that is great for elderly Sims. But yeah, I just imagine the Sim to be living here to be like not so old that they can't walk up and down the stairs, like just a little bit more, just a little bit older, maybe on the edge of retirement. Maybe they're still working. Yeah, that's what I had in mind, actually. I did think this house could be great for a teacher or a professor at Britechester University. So they're probably teaching like history or something. I think that's what I thought of. They're teaching history, and they are like not retired yet, but they will retire in a few years. And this is the house they are living in by themselves. Because I did imagine the Sim to not ever, to just not be married, like ever. Because they either didn't find the love of their life, or they just didn't want to. But this is just a Sim that likes to be alone, and that likes to read a lot, and that likes to just dive into history and travel to other countries by themselves to, yeah, just to explore the history of the world. And when they're not traveling, they're at home, just chilling and hanging out by themselves. So that's what I had in mind for this house. And I do think this house is very cute. It was quite difficult to fit everything in, but at the same time, it did work out very well. This is definitely the largest home. This is the only house that has 3 stories, or a ground floor and 2 stories. I'm always confused by that. Would you call, like, obviously there's the ground floor, but would you call that the first floor? Or would you call, like, the second floor the first floor? If that makes any sense, because in my head it would be ground floor, first floor, second floor. Does that make any sense to any of you, or do you say it the other way around? Please let me know. Or is there like a difference between American English and British English? Because I wouldn't know. I'm Dutch, like I said, so I wouldn't know. But if there's a difference, please let me know, because I'm curious. I never know what to call it in my builds. Do I call it the first floor or the second floor? Like, I never know. So yeah, please just let me know if you have any idea about this. But yeah, this is the top floor of the house. And I made this a little bit more, yeah, the color is a little bit more softer, like powdery pink and just beigey colors. And I added a big bookshelf up here. I never ever really used this bookshelf, but I do think it's very beautiful. And it looks very dated, but at the same time very like, yeah, just classical, if that makes any sense. And I really like it. And yeah, on the top floor here, there is a bathroom with a shower. On the ground floor, there is a half bathroom with only a toilet in there. And then there's a sink in the kitchen, so you wouldn't really need that. You can just walk like 3 steps, and then there is a sink right there in the kitchen. But at the top floor here, I did add an actual bathroom, a 3-tile bathroom with a shower and a toilet. And I'm not sure if I put a sink in there. I'm pretty sure I didn't. No, I didn't. For tiny homes, I tend to always make these like 3-tile bathrooms that I'm making right here. For some reason, I think it's very small, but still very realistic, because I have seen a lot of people use that 1-tile bathroom method. And I do think that is actually pretty smart. I mean, yeah, I don't know, it works. Obviously it works, but I don't know how realistic it is to have your sim like shower like over the sink kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know, it's just, it works, and that's great, and you could obviously use it in your tiny builds. But for me, I also like it to be a little bit more realistic in my builds, personally. So that's why I never use that, and I always go for the either 2 or 3-tile bathroom builds. But yeah, here, as you can see, I moved on to the second row house, the second tiny house, or townhouse. So I'm sorry. I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry. It's also been like a week since I recorded my last voiceover. because I was busy with school and work, so I didn't really have time to do any voiceovers or any building for that matter. So I'm sorry if I'm a little bit rusty. I'm trying my best, and I think it's going okay. It's actually a pretty long voiceover as well, so yeah. I'm just trying to get through this. I really like doing voiceovers, but on some days it's just a little bit harder for me than on other days. I don't know why. But yeah, that just happens. But yeah, this is the blue townhouse. And I also tried to make it very colorful on the inside. So I did go for a lot of blues and yellow, orangey kind of tones. So yeah, that's what I tried to do. I really like the wooden floor that I'm using in this house. I love the color of it. I think it's so beautiful. I'm pretty sure it's from Outdoor Retreat, if I'm not mistaken. I got that pack like not too long ago, so I'm not very used to having the stuff that comes with it in my game. So I'm still really loving that flooring because for me it's brand new. And yeah, I love the color. I love the warm, light wood tone. I think it's very beautiful. So for this townhouse, this is obviously a little bit more colorful looking and a little bit more modern. I did use the Murphy bed in here. And for this house, I had an artist in mind, a musician. Later on, I am actually adding a keyboard and a guitar downstairs because I did have a little bit of space left, but not enough space to put an actual couch or anything. So I thought, of course, this is going to be a musician and they're going to have a piano or like a keyboard. So I put that down there. And I think this house is perfect for a creative kind of sim because it's really colorful and really playful looking. So this is going to be a younger sim. Maybe they just graduated or something, and maybe they studied music, and they are now going to try and make it on their own as a professional musician, or maybe they like compose music for movies and shows or something like that. But I think this is going to be a sim that loves playing music. And is aspiring to be a professional artist. So yeah, that's what I had in mind for this one. And I actually really love the vibe of I love the color of the kitchen in combination with that light blue door from Strangerville. I think that is just the most beautiful color combination. And combined with that flooring as well. I don't know why, but I have been obsessing over those lighter wood tones lately for some reason. Yeah, I just really love the vibe that it gives. It's so warm and welcoming and yeah, just really beautiful. So yeah, when you use the shower from Discover University, then you can actually put a sink as well as a toilet in your 3-tile bathroom because your Sims can walk right through that shower, if that makes any sense. So that is actually great for tiny homes as well. So yeah, that was the middle townhouse, and now this is the one on the far right, and I tried to make this one look the most modern and renovated. So I did go with like the concrete walls. I think those are so beautiful, and the vibe that the concrete gives, it makes it look so like modern and industrial at the same time, and I really like that vibe. So I was going for the dark brown swatch of the fridge and the stove. I think those are from Cool Kitchen stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I've never used the dark brown color swatch, but for this house, it was perfect. And I don't think I've ever used this swatch of the flooring as well. I think this flooring is base game. Again, I'm not sure. But I think it's from base game, and I've never actually used this swatch. And I think for this house, it's perfect. Everything just worked out so easily for this one, for all of the townhouses actually. I don't know why, but yeah. The shape, I think maybe because it's just boxes, so sometimes that's hard, but when your house is very small, I think it's very helpful to just have it be this like rectangular shape because it's easy and you don't have any different or difficult corners or anything to work with. So yeah, I put a couch underneath the stairs there, and I could put a TV right above the fridge, and I thought that was perfect. That's such a convenient use of space. I really liked it. I really liked how it turned out. And there is a half bathroom right next to the couch there, the door there that leads to a tiny little toilet or tiny little half bathroom. I don't think I recorded furnishing that one because I kind of forgot. When I was done furnishing the upstairs and I went downstairs, I saw that I didn't even actually put any flooring or wallpaper in there, and I completely forgot about it. But there is a toilet down there, and then there is a 3-tile bathroom, again, upstairs, that has a shower in there. But yeah, for some reason, I really love the vibe of this last townhouse. The colors are just beautiful, the white and the dark brown, and I don't know. And that flooring, that grayish kind of cool toned flooring, I really like it. So for this house, I had a young couple in mind. Maybe they both recently graduated and they got jobs and they have a little bit of money to spend. So they bought their first home, and it's this townhouse. That's what I had in mind. So they're both pretty serious people. They're very serious about their careers. Maybe one of them, I didn't really actually think what jobs they had, but I was thinking maybe one like could be into politics or something like that, and the other one maybe like, I don't know, like maybe a teacher or a writer or something like that. But yeah, definitely like I think like politics or something. And the other one maybe something like communications, something like that. But it's going to be something that gives them really good jobs that makes them, a little bit of money so they could buy this house, because even though it's a very small house, I do think at least that's how it works in Amsterdam. If you want to buy a townhouse in Amsterdam this size, it's going to be expensive. You're going to need some money. So that's what I had in mind for this couple living here. I was thinking they have a little bit of money to spend, and they bought this as their first house, and they decorated it nicely. They renovated the flooring and the walls, and they painted everything. And they just kind of went crazy with their own modern industrial style. And here you can see me doing that little 3-tile bathroom again. It's my go-to, as I said, for tiny homes. I think it's very convenient and it works. It works very well. And I made sure to put an easel in here because I've mentioned this before, but I've been trying to add some more skill building items to my builds, because if you actually want to use my builds in The Sims, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want some skill building items, because for gameplay, those are just really handy to have. So I did put an easel in this house, and I think I put a chess table somewhere. I know that I put a chess table on the balcony of the blue home, and maybe I gave another home a chess table as well. I'm not sure, actually. What I loved about these little backyards is those little lanterns. I love using those. I think it's so cute, and I thought it was perfect for these homes. It just gives it a little cutesy little vibe, and I really love it about this. But that's almost it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. You can download this home off the gallery. My username is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram if you'd like. My username on Instagram is @Simmarysims. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!